in this project, I use AI, or artificial intelligence, as some of you already know. AI is the science of making machines smart using algorithms, and it contains data. It's the future to our lives. AI is where the future and coding intersect. As we are in this technology era, we need to do more things with technology. My idea. So firstly I thought about games, and then the first thing my mind came to was mazes, because I used to have fun doing that while I was young. So yeah, and then I thought about mazes and coding together, and then I thought about hackers hacking through computer games. So yeah, mazes are pretty popular. Not only are they entertaining and fun, they also help you. Yeah, so my project, it generates a maze and it shows what's happening. So the problem I had to figure out was how to pass the maze. Here's an example of my maze, and here's the agent. I solved the problem of trying to go through a maze is by going to Google Colab. So I learned about the neural network, which is a model of your brain. So basically, the input layer is where you input, and then it goes through the hidden layer. The hidden layer is where it processes the information, and then it puts to the output layer where it does this stuff. This is mainly how I generated my project and the training. Yeah, neural networks. It's also a set of algorithms. It can recognize many patterns as well. Yeah, that's how I made my agent go where it's supposed to go. So yeah, this first code right here is the training part, where it trains my agent. And over here is where the agent actually goes and recognizes the patterns and goes through the maze. So yeah, here's my Google Colab. I'll explain the code later. So yeah, here is an example of untrained agent. Basically, it's just a random agent with nothing, and it knows nothing about this maze or any patterns. So see, on the 64th step, it still has accomplished nothing, and on the 495th step, it's only got the blue key and went through the door. Over here we have a trained agent, which on the 46th step, it has already got the blue key and went through the blue door. And now it's searching for the rest of the maze. I have a video of my most successful one. Just gonna slow it down a bit. See, it goes over here, looks around, gets a blue key, and then looks around, remembers where the old stuff is. It keeps going around. Eventually it reaches here. Then it looks around again for the green door. Then it eventually touches the gem, which lets it win. This is more complicated than other mazes because you have to go through, get a key, and then go through a door instead of just going through a path. Here's my code. The first part is where I install and import all these assets and the libraries I used. Over here is where I define everything and I create the agent. And then here is where I get my models from Google Drive. And yeah, here is where I train the agent. So I trained this all the way to the 60th model because the higher the model, the better the agent will do. Yeah, I spent like this process of getting to the 60th model went overnight. So if I was like it wasn't there,
Hi.
it would disconnect to the runtime. So I had to install an auto clicker to click while I wasn't there. The last part of my code is testing. So basically where it makes a maze. So I'll just run the code while I explain the rest of this because this code takes a pretty long time.
Thomas, while you're
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Someone I think raised their hand. Now they lowered it. Never mind. Continue, Thomas.
So yeah, you can use this type of code, like the training part and recognizing patterns. So you can use this for many things, like self-driving, to recognize the patterns in cars and where to go, like the patterns on the ground. So basically, you can use this AI and the neural network for many things, complex things that we might use when we're older. So the second example is the game player where it trains and then it recognizes what to do. So it repeats and repeats and repeats. And then slowly it starts becoming like a player. So it's basically good for bots. The third and last case I have is classification. So it can classify what things they are. So if it trains a bunch, it will recognize the patterns and the features on a certain animal or thing. For example, this cat. So it recognizes those ears and those eyes and basically the basic outline. And then so if you train it enough, it can detect an object by getting a bunch of the features and outline. My favorite part about this project was the maze. So the maze, it wasn't just like any other maze. I made it special, so you had to complete tasks to get through. So if I was going to continue, I would get more testing, and also I would make the training and the video generating time shorter because this code takes like 7 minutes to run. So, yeah, the more testing, the better results you get. Let's check on the code. Yeah, I can explain some of this. So this part is basically taking the model from my Google Drive that I trained and putting it into the environment so it can go into testing. See, here is going through the maze. It looks around. Sometimes it gets stuck. Looks around for patterns. And then it eventually reaches a key and then realizes, oh, I have to go to the spot where I saw this thing. The door. So yeah, it's pretty complicated. Sometimes it doesn't really work as expected. It's not really predictable because every time the maze is different. So that's why I need to train this a lot. Once it trains like about a bunch of possibilities, you'll almost get like a guaranteed win every time. Yeah. So, any questions?
All right, this is the time for questions. I know someone in the audience had a question earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me. How do you generate the maze? Because I saw you can make graphics in Colab, right? How do you make that? What's that? So you import the stuff.
Basically, it loads the model.
Okay. And where does it load the model from? Where does it load the model
it's from one of these. It's from one of these libraries.
Okay. And then your AI thingy recognizes the model, or does it?
Yes. So basically, it's in the training part.
Yeah.
Training part. So basically, it takes the agent around and trains the. So basically, it generates a maze.
Yeah.
Then it looks around for patterns.
Okay.
If there's a hole over here and there's a hole over here, and it trains, it would recognize the patterns. And for future mazes, for example, like this one, it would know that it's there, so it would go around.
Okay, thanks.
All right, cool.
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
So for your AI, for the agent, can it see everything in an omniscient kind of view, or can it only see what is in front of it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Because this is like essential for the code. If it sees everything, then it doesn't need to look around. It just leaves, finds the exit.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't see everything, because this code isn't supposed to get a guaranteed win every time. It's supposed to train it and look for patterns. It's not supposed to win. It's basically supposed to look for patterns and make itself better every time.
Like, what data does it see? Like the position of the whole maze, or only the area in front of it or near?
Like the area near it. So it goes around and looks for patterns.
Hello?
Yeah.
Will he eventually show the mazes later on?
Will he show? Sorry, could you repeat that?
Will he eventually show the mazes eventually on?
Oh, the mazes. I'm pretty sure he showed it in his little demo video earlier. You wanna
have
it again?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay, thank you.
Yep.
Let me just slow this down a bit.
Someone asked, Ethan asked, where does he claim the prize?
Do you have Dr. Sun's email or his WeChat? If you do, then okay, I can send you his email right now, and then you can email him and then ask for your prize.
So yeah, that's the videos.
Cool. And also, Thomas, I actually have a question.
Yeah.
Will you be continuing to train more agents in the future?
I don't think I will, because this is just like a simple warm-up. So in the future, I might make more complicated programs and move on to something harder.
Right, nice. And when you do, you can come back to present for us again.
Yes. Yeah, so sometimes it doesn't recognize the patterns because there's only a specific amount trained. So I trained only 60. So this may be one of the hundred thousands mazes out there that are different. So yeah, any more questions?
Thomas?
Yeah.
What was the hardest part of this whole project? The most challenging part?
The hardest part. The hardest part was being patient for this to actually work, because this takes a lot of time to train and a lot of time to load. And also the coding was hard too. This part, you have to go through a complicated series of code.
How long does it take to train one agent?
To train, I'm not really sure exactly, but I think in 8 hours it trained like 60. So yeah.
Nice.
Excuse me, Thomas.
Yes.
How do I be a part of your program? Like, how much do you want?
What do you mean?
Like, I want to be like one of the presenters.
Oh, you want to be one of the presenters?
Yeah.
I suggest you get in touch with Dr. Sun. I'll also send his email to you.
Okay.
That was, what's your name?
Jack.
Jack, okay. Yeah, and get in touch with him. Talk to him about your program.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thomas, I have a
Yes.
recommendation for the training of your model. You
Uh-huh.
don't have to do graphics every single time. For the training, just let it run on its own without the need for graphics.
Yeah,
Because the progression takes a lot of time.
Yeah, I know. The training it doesn't show the thing. So basically it does it in dots. Want me to show you it right now?
By the way,
Let's
printing
think.
also takes a lot of time. Yeah. The best way is to just let it run on its own with no screen refreshment.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I don't think this is.
Oh yeah, Thomas, do you remember how long it took you to make this entire program?
I think like a month or so.
Cool.
Like almost 1 month and a half or something.
Well, that's actually not a lot of time.
Yeah, not really.
Oh yeah, I remember you talked about your future ideas. You plan to make
Uh-huh.
more programs. Do you have ideas already for those?
I don't really have a lot of ideas. But I might make a simple classification program if I can.